It is early. It is really, really early, and I'm here in the Raleigh-Durham International Airport, getting ready to head over to Pastor Gonzalez, go to the counter, heading to San Antonio to speak to 100 or so people on the art of self-leadership. Super stoked to do that. Always super excited to go and share more of my message. And with me personally, one of the things I'm playing with a lot with self-leadership in my own life is how to bring more ease into the work that I do. 2015 for me was a year of hustle. Like, I worked really, really hard. I created some amazing things. I was really excited. Of course, there was a lot of challenge and stress and things like that along the way. And so this year, I want to be just as successful, if not more, financially, but with more ease, less hustle. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be in it and really 100% in the work that I do and really just, putting all of my love and focus and attention into what I'm doing. But it also means that I can bring a different side of myself. I can bring a different energy to the work that I'm doing. I can bring more ease, more flow. Doesn't mean things won't be challenging. It just means that I'm going to bring more ease to it. Right? What would ease look like for me in any given moment of stress? Would it mean that I would slow down and breathe a little more deeply? Would it mean that I'd relax the muscles in my body that I noticed were tense? Like, how can I bring 5% more ease to the work that I'm doing? And this actually showed up for me just yesterday, and I was stuck in this place of inaction, right? I had things that I know that I needed to accomplish, and I wasn't doing them. And I was feeling like, okay, I just need to force myself. I need to push through it. And I'm thinking about, like, don't take your emotional temperature, to do things. You just choose and you do it. And for me, that typically is the way that I work. And that works for me for the most part. And that's an element of self-leadership, right? Is just choosing. No more ruminating and chewing on the idea. You just choose and you decide and you do it. You take some action. But on this particular day, I was stuck in inaction. And it didn't matter what I was doing to try to force myself to do something. I couldn't do it. And so what I allowed myself to do in that moment was to take some space, to create some space, to take some time, to actually just veg out, watch a couple funny shows. I took like a 45-minute nap. And then when I got up, all of a sudden, I was inspired to get back to work. And I spent like 3.5 hours working on this thing that went by in like 5 minutes. And so what I realized here, and it's a little semantic language thing, but it really hit me when it happened, was that the quickest way for me to go from inaction to inaction is that little space. That little space in between the two words, in and action, was what allowed me to go from paralysis, from ruminating, from trying to force myself, from trying to psych myself out to say, you need to do this, just buck up and hustle and get it done, to instead coming from a place of ease. Because I allowed myself to relax. So my question to you is, where can you bring 5% more ease into your life today, into your work, into your relationships, into anything that you need to get done today, things that maybe you feel like you have to force yourself to do, and maybe things that you're procrastinating on. You're stuck in action, like being inactive, right? Stuck in a place of inaction. And how can you create that little space between in and action so you can get back in action?